What is up, guys? Wolfgang here, and today I wanted to talk about the Asus ROG Zephyrus G15, the 2021 edition though. This would be my long-term review. I've had this laptop now for around 6 months, and I wanted to share some thoughts I had about it. With this laptop, the most important thing I wanted to mention is who this laptop is for, what the goal was when they made this laptop. And to be completely honest with you, it is a jack of all trades and master of none. We've all heard that saying. But the most important line I want to add is, of course, that a jack of all trades is a master of none, but is still better than a master of one. So this laptop is more like a jack of all trades. However, it can be beat in any specific scenario. For example, if you want a gaming laptop, there's a better one than this one. If you want a high productivity, only battery life laptop, there's one that has more battery life than this one. But to find a laptop that has good battery, good gaming performance, and is good at everything else, that's the difficult part. And this laptop achieves that, or did achieve it at least as of the time I've had it. So first of all, as I've been talking a lot about how it can be a gaming laptop, how it can be a battery life laptop, I want to talk a little bit about the aesthetic. As we all know, computers in the gaming sector are usually very flashy and have a really gamery aesthetic, and we all know what that looks like, which isn't always everyone's favorite. It's not my favorite, for example. So first of all, I wanted to say that I do have a sticker on this computer. On the back, it has a reflective pattern that does a rainbow effect depending on the light. And I'll show a picture right now. And so I personally don't prefer it. I prefer a more muted look, as that flashiness isn't much of my style. And then next up, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fans, or the grills, which you can see here are angled. And well, this would be somewhat of the most revealing part of the laptop, to say that it's has somewhat of a gamer aesthetic. And you can see the fans right there and some of the ports. But yeah, I would say that's like the most revealing part, to say that it is a somewhat gaming laptop in disguise. Of course, you have the ROG logo here on that corner, but it's fairly muted. Which with this sticker, I believe it makes it look a little bit in the professional side. Although these fans do look a bit on the gamery side, once you open the laptop, it has the hinge that kind of covers it, and so it doesn't really reveal as much. So that is one positive for this. Now, I will be leaving a link for where I bought this skin for the laptop. They have skins for several different computers with different aesthetics, even having options like covering this logo or leaving it exposed. And it's from M2 Skins, and if you want to buy one, link in the description. Now, next up, I wanted to talk about the screen. So, as I have the Best Buy website open, this screen is a 15.6 inch display. It has a refresh rate of 165 Hertz, and it is an IPS panel, so it looks pretty good and has very good viewing angles. It has a 3 millisecond response time, so it's a very quick display. And well, it has a resolution of 2560 by 1440p, and it has a max brightness of around 350 nits that can vary from unit to unit. So it's not the brightest screen, but it'll do more than well enough indoors. Outdoors, it is visible. Sometimes you just gotta struggle a little bit to view what you're trying to see. Next up, I'm going to quickly demo how to open the computer. It is going to be fast forwarded to not make it too boring, and I'll talk a little about the specs once we're inside. Now, almost forgot to mention, once you are disassembling the device, you want to be careful with the screws, as the screws on the back are longer than the ones that go on the front, which you can see in just a second here. So make sure to leave the longer ones here on the back. Now, you won't damage your device if you mess up, or well, you won't break it. However, when you open the laptop, you'll notice some protrusions on the trackpad area. So you want to be careful with that, just to keep your device looking nice. Also very important, these 3 screws are also a different size. These are even smaller than the ones that go here on the bottom. Alright, so now we've opened the computer up completely, and here you can see the 90 watt hour battery. This is the included 1 terabyte SD card, and I added another terabyte over here, so I have 2 terabytes in total. And here is your 1 replaceable RAM slot with a little bit of a temperature sticker. Unfortunately, the other RAM slot is not changeable, so you'll be stuck with either the 16 gigabytes that come by default, 24 gigabytes, or 48 gigabytes. I currently have 24 gigabytes as I wanted a bit more RAM to edit videos. However, for gaming, 16 is more than enough and can give you a bit better performance depending on the game. So for the processor, we have an AMD Ryzen 9 5900HS, which is an octa-core processor with 16 threads. And as a graphics card, we have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Now, the negative of having this very strong graphics card in such a thin chassis is that it is limited to 80 watts, with 100 watts using the dynamic boost. In here you can see the speakers, you can see the battery, the S2 SSD slots, the Wi-Fi card, which is exchangeable, the 1 RAM slot that's changeable, and well, you can clean up the fans, which mine are a bit dusty, I gotta say. So let's talk a little bit about battery. So, as I mentioned earlier, it has a 90 watt hour battery, which is a pretty large size considering that 90 or 100 watt battery would be not allowed on a plane. So it's reaching its max that it could. And so that's great for battery life. Additionally, if you want the computer to stay on for the whole day, Armoury Crate offers a few things to help you with that. So besides the Windows power saver, which you can turn on from right here with your quick tasks or with your quick actions panel, you can also turn on integrated GPU mode, which means that the 3070 will not receive power and it will exclusively use the graphics card that's on the processor, which is great to save battery, terrible for games, so keep that in mind. You can also make it a power saver panel, which means that when it's plugged in, it will continue to go up to 144 Hertz on the panel. However, when it's on battery, it will restrict itself to 60 Hertz, which is great for battery life. So when gaming on this laptop, do not expect great battery life. It is a laptop. It has its own restrictions. The 3070 consumes a lot of power, especially when going full bore for a game. So expect around maybe 2 hours or less. It's a laptop. It can't really do much more than that. Now I want to talk a bit about a few accessories I bought for the device to make using it a little bit more enjoyable. When gaming and with the screen open, the device lifts itself up a bit with the hinge and the screen pushes downwards, as I was showing with the fan earlier. However, it doesn't really give you that much more space for the fans to suck in air from. So what I did is that I bought an accessory for this. So the first thing I bought was this metallic stand. And so it is easily collapsible to make it easier to carry around, pretty thin. You can open it up and you can set it to any desired angle. This is mostly for the fans to receive air. You can take it even pretty much make it a vertical stand. At this point, it would be really uncomfortable to type on if you're using the included keyboard or the laptop keyboard, but you could set it onto like the lowest, and here is a comfortable angle to type on, and it can suck in air good enough. Now, next up, I want to talk a little bit about 2 other accessories that I bought for this device, which would be the ROG Falchion, which is a mechanical keyboard. I mean, it's a decent keyboard. I can make a review if you guys want me to. I really like this keyboard for gaming specifically. And yeah, let me know if you guys want to see a review about it. And also the ROG Chakram, which is a pretty nice mouse. As far as gaming goes, it's on the heavy side. I will include it in the keyboard review if you guys want. Just make one video for both peripherals. Just let me know. Another set of peripherals that I bought are the Logitech MX Keys Mini and the MX Master 3. Now, I personally prefer these for everyday use, as I grew up using a MacBook keyboard, and so I'm really used to the chiclet style, and I believe, in my opinion at least, that this is the ideal keyboard. It is my favorite for sure. And so I bought this and I've enjoyed it ever since. And as for the mouse, I had the MX Master 2, well 2S, and I really enjoyed it. And once I saw that this one was released and it had a USB-C port, I really had to buy it, as I've been transitioning almost all my devices to USB-C. And I've been really happy with it. It has not failed me at all. My only issue is, as I have very large hands. Well, it's not exactly as big as the MX Master 2, which was a little bit for larger hands. This one still fits me comfortably, but I would wish it were a little bit larger, as I have really large hands. Just wanted to talk very quickly about the ports, as I didn't mention them earlier. You have a charging port, HDMI 2.0, an Ethernet port. This is a USB port, sorry. 2 USB-C ports, unfortunately not Thunderbolt at all, as it is an AMD processor. And then you have a headphone and microphone jack here. And then if we go on the other side, you have a micro SD card slot and another USB-A port. Lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about the price. So I actually could not find a source directly from Amazon where this computer was sold directly from Asus. However, on Best Buy, you can still find the specific model I bought on the exact page I bought it from. I bought it from Best Buy as well. And so it is still $1,850, which is the price that I bought it for. And 6 months later, with a new version already released, that is a bit of a steep price. So in conclusion, what do I think about this device? Now, it has served me well for the 6 months I've had it for, but due to the price, it might be a little bit of an issue, in my opinion. When I bought it, it was absolutely worth it. It was the only thing that I considered a jack of all trades. However, now, as there are also other devices that are worth considering that would compete with it, there is also a new version of this device. As I mentioned earlier, this is the 2021 version of this computer. And there is also a 2022 version, which is only $150 more. So the 2022 version gives you a 3070 Ti, it gives you a webcam, and it gives you an AMD Ryzen 9 6900HS, which, although performance-wise isn't much of an upgrade, it does give you more battery life when using iGPU mode or just surfing the web. It consumes less battery, which I consider is absolutely worth paying $150 more for those 3 upgrades. Of course, that is up to you. Now, if you can find a deal, a very good deal for a used version of the 2021 version, I would say this is worth buying. However, buying it straight off of Best Buy, buying it new, is not necessarily the best option. In my opinion, just save a little bit more and get this version, which will last you, well, you'll be happy with it for longer, as it will have better battery life, better everyday battery life, and it has a bit more graphical performance, and it has the webcam in case you need it. I personally, as I mentioned, I only really needed it for work from home, which is maybe a call a week, so it wasn't much of a deal breaker for me. And I'll be leaving the link in the description. Wrapping things up, as I mentioned earlier in this video, this is a jack of all trades and a master of none, but it's still better than a master of one. So you can find a great deal on it. I do recommend to buy it. It is a great laptop. It has not failed me once, and it is overall, just an excellent laptop to buy, almost as a desktop replacement, as it has been doing for me. Now, hope this video helps you out make an informed decision to buy it or not. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and thank you very much for watching.